إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. Before I start, I would like all of you who are sitting here, who have come here to this Jummah only to seek knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's deen, I would like to welcome you to this gathering. This welcome is not from me, myself, but this welcome I give you from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. How fortunate are those to whom Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has forwarded, has told the Sahaba to forward his message, his welcome. But this welcome is only for those who are seeking knowledge, who have come all the way from wherever, Sharjah, Dubai, Ajman, Ras Al Khaimah, wherever you have come from. You've come here only for the pleasure of Allah and to seek the knowledge of Allah's deen. As Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to tell the Sahaba, and the Sahaba used to practice this on the Tabi'een, he would tell them, if you see, سَيَأْتِيكُمْ أَقْوَامٌ يَطْلُبُونَ الْعِلْمِ, that you will see that there will be people coming to you. Why? To ask for money? To ask for a loan? Or to get barakah because they met Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? No. They will come to you, يَطْلُبُونَ الْعِلْمِ, that they will come to you only seeking knowledge, seeking your deen that you have learned from me. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, فَإِذَا رَأَيْتَمُوهُمْ فَقُولُوا, and if you see them, tell them from me, مَرْحَبًا بِوَصِيَّةِ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ. Tell them marhaba, welcome, from the wasiyah, from the will and testament of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So I am passing on this welcome to those who have come to seek knowledge. Once a sahabi, one day, Safwan ibn Attar, I think his name was, came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and said, "O Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I have come to seek some knowledge." He did not come to gain any, to ask for zakah money or to ask for any, because he was poor or whatever. He came and told Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, "I came to you, O Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to gain some knowledge. Teach me something." Then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told him, Marhaban li talib al-ilm. Welcome, O seeker of knowledge. Once a man came to one sahabi, his name was, I think, Abu Dhar al-Ghafari, and he came to him and he told him, Ya Abu Dhar, I have come to you to seek knowledge, only to seek knowledge. Abu Dhar, he asked him, Wallahi, you have come only to seek knowledge, not to ask for anything else? Then he said, yes, I have come only to seek. Second time he asked him, Wallahi, you have come only to seek knowledge? He said, yes, Abu Dhar, I have come only. Third time, Wallahi, have you come only to seek knowledge? He said, yes, I have come only to seek knowledge. Then he said, in that case, I give you the welcome from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And what a good news it was for him. our scholars, those who have spent all their lives learning about the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so that they can forward this deen to others. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, شَهِدَ اللَّهُ أَنَّهُ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا هُوَ وَالْمَلَائِكَةُ وَأُولُو الْعِلْمِ. شَهِدَ اللَّهُ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is taking a testament. He's testifying that there is no God worthy of worship except Him. And He has put after that the testimony of the malaika, and they also testify that there is no God worthy of worship except Him. And then along with this testimony, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَأُولُو الْعِلْمِ. Those who possess knowledge, the ulama. See how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has raised the status of those who possess knowledge, who possess the knowledge of this deen, of the ilm of this of our Islam. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the scholars say that this testimony from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is one of the highest praises that any ulama, anybody on this earth can get. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Himself is testifying. They don't need to testify anymore by themselves. They don't even have to say that we believe, yes, there is one God except Allah. Allah is testifying on their behalf. And the scholars say that this is one of the greatest praises for the ulama and for anybody who can get any praise. And the Prophet ﷺ has also mentioned, just imagine, brothers, if I tell you that somebody is going to inherit something from me, you will think, yes, they're going to inherit my final will and testament, which I'm going to write down, my children and my family. They will get some money from whatever I left behind. Alright, this is what comes in the mind when you talk about inheritance, correct? But Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Subhanallah, إِنَّمَا الْعُلَمَاءُهُمْ وَرَثَةُ الْأَنْبِيَاءِ. That innama, the ulama, verily the ulama, they are the inheritors of what? Not of mal, not of possessions, not of wealth. They are inheritors of the anbiya, the prophets, the ulama. And he went on to say, إِنَّ الْأَنْبِيَا أَلَمْ يُوَرِّثُ دِينَارًا وَلَا دِرْهَمًا. That the anbiya, they did not leave behind dinar and dirham to inherit. What did they leave behind, the anbiya? What did Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam leave behind? And he is saying that these ulama, they are my inheritors. After each prophet, after each nation, when the prophet died and, they went away, they left behind scholars, the followers. And these were the scholars who inherited from these prophets and messengers. And they inherited what? Not dinar or dirham. This is a quality of the ulama Rasulullah is mentioning over here. And this is the status of the ulama that he is mentioning in this hadith. That they don't run behind dinar and dirham. And they do not possess dinar and dirham. They don't, inherit dinar and dirham. But they inherit the ilm from the prophets and the messengers. As we know that the prophethood has been sealed, the messengerhood of Rasulullah has been sealed. He was the Khatim al-Nabi. There will be no prophet after him. Correct? So who is the one who is going to forward his message? The ulama. The ulama. They are the inheritors of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And he went on to say, وَلَكِنَّ وَرَثَةُ الْعِلْمِ. And they left behind inheritance, the ilm, the deen. فَمَنْ أَخَذَهُ أَخَذَ بِحَرٍ وَافِرٍ. That if anyone who wishes to come and amass or take advantage of this, and he takes advantage of this, he has taken the best share. بِحَرٍ وَافِرٍ. That he is taking one of the great portions of the wealth of this dunya. And that is the ilm from the prophets and the messengers. Likewise, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned in the Quran about the ulama, the scholars, that they are the only ones who fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How can that be? You can now claim that, no, even I claim Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We know there are so many people who fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, إِنَّمَا يَخْشَى اللَّهَ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ الْعُلَمَاءِ. That innama is a word which means, which anything comes after this, it is specific to only this category. Like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in the Quran, إِنَّمَا الصَّدَقَاتُ لِلْفُقَرَاءِ وَالْمَسَاكِينَ, and the 8 categories. And the scholar says that the innama, the word comes, and the sadaqah should be given to only and only these 8 category of people. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّمَا يَخْشَى اللَّهَ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ الْعُلَمَاءِ, that from my slaves, it is only the ulama, the possessors of knowledge, those who gain the knowledge, those who keep the knowledge, those who teach the knowledge to the others, my knowledge of my deen, the knowledge taken from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It is only those who fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you will see, brothers, the less the knowledge a person has, the more he is astray, the more he is doing wrong things here and there. You don't see ulama going out and doing abhorrent things, the scholars. You don't see them doing anything haram, because they are truly fearing Allah the way He deserves to be feared, the way He deserves to be worshipped. إِنَّمَا يَخْشَى اللَّهَ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ الْعُلَمَاءِ. So we have to attain this. As Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, that أَنَا أَعْلَمُكُمْ بِاللَّهِ وَخْشَاهُمْ لَهُ. That I am the one, وَخْشَاهُمْ لَهُ, that I am the one who knows the most amongst you about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, we have a dawah program going on in Dubai. Alright, there's a nice big dawah program. When the people come in, most of them non-Muslims, we try to explain to them and we try to understand from them how much they know about the deen, how much they know about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Creator. And the more and the more and more that we question them, we find out they hardly know anything about the Creator. They don't know His qualities, they don't know His, the names and attributes, and they don't know who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Creator, is. What is His attributes? What is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala all about? What is He? They don't know His attributes, and how can they fear something they have no idea about? They just believe blindly, have faith. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is saying over here that أَنَا أَعْلَمُكُمْ بِاللَّهِ, that I know the most amongst you about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and therefore I fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala most from all of you. So if you gain knowledge, oh brothers, if you gain the knowledge of our deen, not the knowledge of how to become a doctor or how to become an engineer, you're not going to fear Allah by knowing how to operate machinery. But if you know and learn more about the Quran and the Sunnah of Rasulullah, the fear and the taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will increase you. And so this implicates that having knowledge and ilm of Allah necessitates, it's a consequence of it is that you will fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is what Allah says about the ulama, that they fear the most. They fear Him the most. So what do we learn from this, oh brothers? We understand that it is the ulama that they are, worthy of respect from us. It is the ulama that they are worthy of giving, some honor to. Because they are the ones who have spent all their lives from childhood. If you learn the life stories of some of the ulama, and if you see the qualities mentioned in the Quran and the Sunnah, and if you learn the biographies of some ulama, you will find out that how they have led their lives. Their lives from childhood. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed them with that. And how many things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us with. And then a brother comes to us and he asks us, brother, what should we do? Shall I go for the Islamic studies, or shall I go for, the studies that, I can earn money? Subhanallah. Our ummah does not need engineers and doctors and, IT professionals right now. Yes, those things are important as well. But our ummah needs right now ulama, which are fading away, which are going away. And because of going away of the ulama, Rasulullah said that the deen will be taken away from you, and the knowledge will be taken away from you, and this will cause the destruction of our ummah. So who do we need most? Doctors and engineers? IT professionals? Or do we need ulama? So if anybody comes to me and asks for a nasiha of what future studies I should pursue, whether he takes the nasiha or not, I blindly will tell to him that go, oh brother, you are young. Go and apply for Medina University or in Makkah or Saudi somewhere, or in some good Islamic university, and take the knowledge of the deen and go and become an alim, inshallah, so that our ummah will be safe. As Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has told us that the knowledge will be snatched away from the ummah, just like how it was said, and this will cause the destruction of the ummah. The knowledge, if you think about it, you are praying salah, you are reciting certain surah from childhood. You don't forget about it one fine morning, you get up and you forget about the salah. Even if you get up in the middle of the night, you'll be able to pray your salah. You'll not forget about it. What does Rasulullah mean that the knowledge will be taken away? He means that the ulama, and he mentions this, when the ulama will start dying one after the other, and the knowledge will be wiped out from this earth, and then there will be nobody in this ummah to guide people, to steer people, to stop them from the pitfalls, to stop them from haram, to stop them or give them nasiha. Don't do like this, oh brothers. Do like that. Rasulullah, this is the sunnah of Rasulullah. When this will stop, the adab of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will come upon the ummah. And this is one of the signs of the day of judgment, oh brothers. This is the signs of one of the day of judgment. And when the ulama will be taken away, the other sign Rasulullah said is that the people, اتَّخِذُوا النَّاسَ رَؤُوسًا جُهَالًا, that the people will take amongst the ignorant people, they will make them the leaders and scholars, and then they will go after them. Today, when a celebrity comes from TV, everybody is flocking and running to take tickets, even if it's for an Islamic program. Because why? He's a famous celebrity. And people don't even know the names of the most, and they don't know the biographies of the most famous and the most important scholars in our deen, in Islam, like Imam Muslim, Imam Bukhari, Imam al-Nawawi. People don't know anything about them, but ask them about the celebrities today. They will come running, shoot an email and they will come running. And the halls and everything will be gathered. For what? To take blessings from this celebrity or to gain the knowledge? If you are gaining the knowledge, then inshallah, there are many, blessings upon you. But if not, then may Allah guide us. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions about those people of Qarun. Everyone knows about the story of Qarun. Qarun was a haughty, rich king from the children of Bani Israel. And as we know that he was so haughty and so proud of his wealth, and he said, I have been given this knowledge, and because of this, I have so much wealth. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes his wealth in the Quran as he was so rich that the keys for his treasure chest had to be carried by a group of strong men. He was so rich, only the keys. One key, a few people had to carry it. He was so rich. And when he used to walk in this pomp and, glamour, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala one day, he was swallowed by the earth. But before that, when he used to show off his pride and his wealth, people used to say, oh look at him, I wish that, woe to us, we wish that we had this, some wealth of this Qarun, something from him. I wish Allah had given us this. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions about those who possess the ilm, the ulama. What did they tell these ignorant people? They were wishing for the dunya, And the ulama, they said, وَقَالَ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْعِلْمِ وَيْلَكُمْ ثَوَابُ اللَّهِ خَيْرًا. And the people from the, people of knowledge, they told them, woe to you! Woe to you, O people, you wish for this dunya, for the wealth of Qarun. Rather, wish for the sawab, the khair from Allah. And that is the best khair. And I wish for all our ummah, all our brothers and sisters, inshallah, this sawab and this khair. And inshallah, I hope that we make the efforts to reach to a certain level of knowledge, inshallah, which I'll discuss talk about in the second part of it. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه ومن استنى بسنته إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in the Quran, فَاعْلَمُوا أَنَّهُ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. Allah says, so know, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that there is no God worthy of worship except He, except Allah. Why is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling this to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? Did he not know that? Did Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam didn't know that? We just learned in the first part of the khutbah that he said, I know Allah more than any one of you. Then why is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying that know, O Muhammad, that none has the right to be worshipped except Allah? The reality is, brothers, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us to know about Him, to know about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to know that there is none worthy of worship except Him. And when He tells this through Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, imagine the importance of this ayah. Imagine the importance of this ayah for us, that how much we, if Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is being told to know, that how much we deserve to know, to learn about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His deen. And this is why Imam Ahmad, rahimahullah, he once said that the knowledge, to know about the deen, knowledge of the deen is more important than even food and water. Food and water we drink and eat, and if we don't have for 2 or 3 days, we don't die. Scientifically, medically, it's been proven that human beings can stay for a certain number of days without water, certain number of days without food. We can live, we can go on, but without knowledge, yes, even without knowledge, maybe we can go on, but like madmen. But people who have, no idea. Just imagine, if you don't know 5 times a day how to make wudu, and there are people who don't know how to make wudu, subhanAllah. If you don't know how to make salah, if you don't know how you should behave with your family members, if you don't know what is the etiquette of going inside the bathroom, everything has been taught in our deen by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this becomes, for a Muslim, more important, like Imam Ahmad rahimahullah said, more important than even food and water, brothers. And we should know some details we should try to learn about these imams, these people, because there were many imams of the Muslim ummah, only 4 of them became famous. As we know them as the 4 imams of the schools of thoughts. But there were many imams. Even in Bukhari was an imam, Muslim was an imam. There were many other imams. There was Layth from Misr, he was an imam. Okay? Imam Nawawi was an imam. Alright? We should learn about these scholars. What are the qualities of the people of knowledge? For example, Imam Bukhari at the age of 16, after having memorized and compiled the books of Imam Bukhari. Imam Bukhari was one of his teachers, one of the ulama from his time. And Abdullah ibn Mubarak was actually the Bukhari of his time. He was known as the Amir al-Hadith. Alright? And he performed Hajj with his elder brother Imam. And just imagine at the age of 16, Imam Bukhari had already compiled books. He was already half the Quran and he compiled books of Baqi and Imam Abdullah ibn Mubarak. And today, what are our children doing at the age of 16? They're doing the PS2 and PS3 and whatever games. And they're competing online competitions. Is that what they're doing? How is it that our ummah will be saved? How is it that our household will be saved? Forget about our ummah. Let's think about our household first. When we have all the, possession, all the equipment of taking us astray. And Imam Bukhari, one day, all the ulama, he was a young kid. All the ulama, it was a very famous incident. It happened in Baghdad. All the ulama of his time, they said, we heard about this, young guy called Bukhari, from Bukhara. And let us call him and test him today. He's a young person. So what they did was they called him in a big gathering took place in Baghdad. And everybody is looking at Bukhari. And everybody is looking at him. And the ulama, they're asking him, they're throwing at him a hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And he's saying, I don't know about this hadith. Another hadith, I don't know about it. How is this person, we heard about him, he's such a great, at this young age, scholar, he memorized so much. Then they kept on throwing a hadith after hadith at him. And he said, no, I've never heard of this. I don't know about this. It's not correct. Each and every reply of his was in the negative. And then after a while, Imam Bukhari, he said, I don't know about this, but I will tell you. And he recited and he repeated each and every one of those hadith that they had mentioned to him. I don't know, 30, 40, 50 or 100, I don't remember the number. But it was a large number. And each and every he repeated with the correct text and the matan. The matan and the isnad. What is the matan and the isnad? We don't even know what is the matan and the isnad in the hadith. At least this much we should have knowledge about. The matan is the text of the hadith and the isnad is the chain of narrators of the hadith. The ones who narrated this hadith. What the scholars, they did to test actually Imam Bukhari, that they had mixed up the isnad and the text of the hadith. And they presented to him in a wrong way. And he kept on saying, I don't know, I don't know. And then he repeated all of them in the correct manner. And everybody was shocked. Each and every hadith. And this is what we should know and then get inspiration from. And at least learn the basics of our deen. The basic hadith, the basic deen of of Islam. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he has said that the one who possesses knowledge, مَنْ يُرِدِ اللَّهُ بِهِ خَيْرًا, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pleased with the one who, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants مَنْ يُرِدِ اللَّهُ بِهِ خَيْرًا, that whoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wishes to show His mercy, He wishes to show that He's pleased with this person. What does He do? He gives him money, He makes him a president, He makes him a CEO of a company, or a manager of some company, or He makes him some filthy multi-millionaire, gives him a Lexus in a drawer. Is that what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, once He's pleased, He gives to this person? In fact, it's the opposite of brothers. Don't think that you have all the wealth and the, status of the dunya, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pleased with you. But Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is saying, مَنْ يُرِدِ اللَّهُ بِهِ خَيْرًا يُفَقِّهُ فِي الدِّينِ. That if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to show His mercy, that He's pleased with one person, what does He do? He gives him the understanding, يُفَقِّهُ, the understanding of His deen. And I pray to Allah that He gives us the understanding of our deen, so that we can implement, we can teach our children in every day of our life, so we can prepare for the akhirah. Because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that there is not a single man who has left his house in search of knowledge, seeking path, taking a journey, and this could be from your house to this masjid that you came. If your niyyah was to earn and gain some knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there is not a single person who takes this journey, except that through this journey, Allah will make the toward Jannah easy for you. Allah will make this journey, this path towards Jannah easy through this journey. And I pray to Allah that He makes the path for us easy for Jannah, inshallah. Ameen. And I pray that He gives us the knowledge of this deen to implement this deen not only on ourselves and our children or on our relatives and our friends. And I pray to Allah that He revives our deen and brings back ulama in our ummah rather than any other professions. Ulama which are more important, which will inshallah save our ummah from any harm. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات عباد الله يرحمكم الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على